Hi guys, welcome back to Airtime Studios, and today we are going to be talking about the history of Alton Towers Resort, a theme park located in the United Kingdom in the Staffordshire area of the country. Now, Alton Towers is the biggest theme park in the UK, and today I am going to be sharing the history of this massive theme park with you, starting from nothing but an old castle ruin to a fully fledged theme park with 10 roller coasters. Now, before we start this video, I would like you all to hit that subscribe button right down below and like this video. And you can also turn the notification bell on once you've subscribed so you get all the future updates from my channel Airtime Studios. So now we can jump straight in to our video. So Alton Towers started off as just a little old castle ruins where the Earls of Shrewsbury were living back in the 1800s. They wanted to construct a place to live in, so the Alton Towers ruins, which you see right in the middle of the theme park to this day, were constructed, and the Earls lived in that old ruin for quite a long time, and then after quite a few years they decided to remodel it and also add a gardens to it. So there is a massive garden in the theme park that you'll have to walk through to maybe get to Forbidden Valley from Dark Forest, or Dark Forest to Forbidden Valley. So you have to walk through there, and there's stuff like the Pagoda Fountain and all the trees and all the buildings you find in the gardens were all built back in the late 1800s as part of a refurbishment of the Alton Castle. So that is how the castle came around. But then in 1980, after it started to become a bit of a tourist attraction with a miniature railway opening, Alton Towers became a theme park in 1980, opening rides such as the Corkscrew and the Blade, which is known as the pirate ship. The Blade is the pirate ship currently located in the Forbidden Valley area of the park next to Nemesis and Galactica. Now we'll talk about those later when they opened as well. So they opened quite a few rides back in 1980. The park continued to grow with the success of the Corkscrew. The Black Hole opened in 1983 as one of the park's first few roller coasters. In the 1980s, all the roller coasters that opened were the Corkscrew, the Mini Apple Coaster, and in the late 80s there was the Beast, and there was also, of course, the Black Hole, which opened in 1983, like I just mentioned. So the Black Hole was certainly very popular. As the park started to grow, it started to become more popular over and over the years. And in 1990, the Tussauds Group purchased the Alton Towers theme park. The Tussauds Group at that time owned Chessington Zoo, now known as Chessington World of Adventures, and they now own their second theme park, Alton Towers. Alton Towers then became more and more better once the Tussauds Group purchased the park, as theme park enthusiasts across the world described the 90s as the golden ages for Alton Towers. So loads of changes came to Alton Towers in the 90s. In 1992, the park opened a few rides. It included the Haunted House, an indoor dark ride with a spooky theme, and they also built the oldest roller coaster currently operating in the park, the Runaway Mine Train, which also opened in 1992. Both of these rides were designed by the legend John Wardley. Now, you've probably heard me talking about these two rides in my History of John Wardley video, so check that out on the cards just up here. Check that video out for sure. It's certainly very good history of John Wardley. He makes roller coasters, and I categorized all his history into different segments, and you can listen to all the rides he's created. But anyway, on with this video. So Alton Towers continue to grow, and they, in the Thunder Valley, they got the Thunder Looper, which is no longer there, but in Brazil. It was only meant to be a temporary installation, but it ended up staying at the park for 6 years. And in the same area, a new roller coaster opened in 1994 called Nemesis. Following the opening of Nemesis, a Bollinger and Maillard inverted coaster designed by John Wardley again, the area was renamed Forbidden Valley rather than Thunder Valley, and that area would grow over the years. That Nemesis was the first Secret Weapon roller coaster to open, even though it's Secret Weapon free. Now, the major Alton Towers roller coasters use code names whilst they're being built, called Secret Weapons or SW something. Now, SW1 and 2 were both meant to be on the site of Nemesis, but they both got cancelled as they were planned to be a pipeline roller coaster. The first one was too short and the second one was too boring, so they opted for a new ride, Secret Weapon 3, which was a B&M inverted roller coaster, which was called Nemesis, and is now undergoing a full refurbishment in its retrack. As you might have heard recently, Nemesis, after operating loads of years. So, next up in 1998, Secret Weapon 4 opened, which is known as Oblivion. Oblivion was the world's first vertical drop roller coaster, and following the opening of Oblivion, Alton Towers kept opening world's first attractions. Now, as I just mentioned, Oblivion was famous for being the world's first roller coaster with a vertical drop. It was also the first Bollinger and Maillard dive roller coaster, which basically means there is a vertical drop after hanging you on the edge of the first drop. Now, the famous hang you on the edge of a dive coaster element was also designed by John Wardley, and he has done lots of things, so you definitely should check out my History of John Wardley video. And in 2002, Secret Weapon 5 opened, which was the world's first flying roller coaster. This ride was named Air, and it's another ride designed by, you guessed it, John Wardley. Alton Towers certainly was reformed when John Wardley helped after the Tussauds Group purchased it. So John Wardley helped a lot with the park's future, as you can tell by now. Now, in 2005, Alton Towers opened Rita, a launched roller coaster designed by Intamin. It was quite a rushed roller coaster, just because they wanted to get it open for the new ownership that was coming. And in 2007, the Tussauds Group no longer owned Alton Towers. It was Merlin Entertainment who owned and operated Alton Towers on a 35-year lease at the moment, which is got a long time left in it, and they'll probably renew it by the time it gets to the end, Merlin. But you never know, there might be another change of ownership soon, so we'll see what happens about that. I don't think there will be anytime soon, but you never know. There's loads of surprises in this world, so you never know with all the surprises that come along. Now, after that, Merlin opened a few attractions. 1 year after they operated and owned the park, they decided to shut the Corkscrew in 2008, the park's most iconic roller coaster that opened on opening day of the theme park. It is a Vekoma corkscrew roller coaster with the famous 2 corkscrews still standing at the entrance plaza of the theme park. So where you queue up for your bag checks at Alton Towers, you'll see a couple of roller coaster loops standing right in front of you. Those are the 2 corkscrews from the corkscrew. Now, the ride that replaced the corkscrew was 13, and this was yet another world's first roller coaster. This was the world's first roller coaster with a free fall drop. It's an intimate family roller coaster with a free fall drop. It has a spooky theme in this forest, and Ugland was rethemed to Dark Forest. Ugland was the area that had Rita at the time and other attractions. But when 13 opened, every ride was removed from the Ugland except from Rita. And Rita was slightly rethemed from a race to the races are abandoned and you have to escape the woods, because 13 brought a spooky feel to the area. The area is currently called Dark Forest, and the phrase you always hear in the queue line of 13 is, if you go down to the woods today, you better not go alone. So it's certainly very creepy, 13. And once you've gone through the layout, you go to a standstill and the train drops just like a drop tower would, but nowhere near as tall as a drop tower, of course. And then it launches you backwards into a drop in a massive dark and dingy tunnel, and then you come out and go back into the station. So certainly the free fall drop adds suspense to the ride. Now in 2013, the Smiler opened, and it's another world's first roller coaster. The final one in the list at the moment, though. The Smiler currently holds the world's record for most inversions on a roller coaster. It goes upside down 14 times, and check out my full review of the Smiler from last week as well, and you'll get to know more about the Smiler. The Smiler goes upside down 14 times, and it certainly packs a punch for what it does. And then there was a few bland years until 2018, when the park decided to open Wicker Man, a wooden roller coaster themed to wood and fire. And this is currently my second favourite roller coaster at the park. My favourite roller coaster is certainly Nemesis, which is currently undergoing a refurbishment, the latest history of the park. Well, one of the latest. So Wicker Man opened, and it's certainly a very cool ride. A wooden coaster finally opened at Alton Towers, as enthusiasts have wanted a wooden coaster at Alton Towers for many years. And the latest history I can share with you at Alton Towers is Project Horizon, possibly an indoor roller coaster at Alton Towers, and possibly the next Secret Weapon roller coaster. But it might not be a roller coaster at all. We don't know anything except the dimensions of the building, but it is big enough to be an indoor roller coaster, so it could be Secret Weapon 9. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. Before we wrap up this video, remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Thanks for watching Airtime Studios, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!